So I'm going to assume that the reason you're watching this video is because you probably didn't get the question right, or maybe you're looking for a better way to do the problem or something along those lines, right? So if you didn't get this question right, keep in mind that one of the first strategies that we did or learned about was plugging in numbers. And we can use that strategy if there's variables in the question and there's variables in the answer, which is what we have in this case. Yeah, there's these bunch of variables over here and the answer choices all have variables. Now, if that's the case, you can go around, make up numbers, and figure out the problem from there. So that's what we're going to do in this one. I'm going to make x2. Any number, doesn't matter what you make it. That makes k 4, and that'll make c 4 cubed is 64, 4 squared is 16, 16 times 4 is also 64, so c will be 128. And again, let me just write it out for you, just so you can see it too. So that's what I did right there, and I got c to be 128. Now the question is saying, what is c? So I know that c is 128 in terms of x. And now if you look at the answer choices, they're all in terms of x, which means that they're all x, they all have x's. So I'm going to plug in my x, which was 2, down all my answer choices and see where I get c 128. And c is x to the 6th plus x to the 6th. And let me just write d up here. D is x to the 7th. Remember, the trick is, whenever you do make up numbers, you have to plug it back into all the answer choices. If 2 of the answer choices give me the same number, then I have to go back, switch up my numbers, and try it again. It doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. And the reason that happens is because the people who make this test know that this is the only strategy that you can use to beat this problem. So they'll try to make it as tough for you as possible to use this strategy, but we can always still use it. So 2 to the 5th. This problem also, I forgot to say, this problem will be a no calculator problem, so this is definitely something you have to know how to do without a calculator. 2 to the 5th is 32. So that wouldn't work right there, right? Because I'm looking for 128. 2 to the 6th, if 2 to the 5th is 32, then 2 to the 6th has to be 64. So b, I know, so x to the 5th right there we know is 32, and x to the 6th we know is 64, and 32 plus 64 does not give me 128, so that's gone. Now let's hop over to c. X to the 6th is 64, x to the 6th is 64, and 64 plus 64 is 128, so that works. But I'm going to test out d as well. So if 2 to the 6th is 64, 2 to the 7th will just be multiplying the 64 by another 2, and that actually gives me 128. So 2 to the 7th is 128 as well. And this is what I was saying before. See how both of these answer choices give me 128? Now what I need to do is go back, switch up these numbers, calculate a new x, a new k, and a new c, and test it out between c and d. It shouldn't be that bad. Now this time around I'll make x 1. So if x is 1, try doing this yourself. So if x is 1, I would pause the video right now and try doing this problem again yourself and see if you can match up with the right answer that I get to. So x is 1 and k will be 1 also, because x squared is k. And now let's check out c. X cubed, so instead of these 4s, I'm just plugging in the 1s right now because those are my new things. So there'll be just 1 cubed, 1 squared, and 1. 1 cubed is 1, 1 squared is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, so it's just 1 plus 1, which is 2, so c is 2. Now let's go to answer choice c. 1 to the 6th is 1, 1 to the 6th is 1, and that does give me 2. And 1 to the 7th is just 1, so d doesn't work. C is my answer over here. That's how you can do this problem, by beating the problem essentially and using numbers. Let me show you how to do this problem the proper way also. I think it helps. We know that k is x squared, and we know that c equals k cubed plus k squared times k. And now this is actually a lot easier than what we did before, but sometimes you don't always find the easiest way on the test, especially a time test. So see how the value of k is x squared, so wherever I see k, I'm going to replace that with x squared. Right, so instead of that k, I replace that squared is staying, and instead of that k, I replace the value of k, which is x squared, and that's staying. Now let's solve for this. If I have an exponent and it's being raised, or it's being, so I multiply over here, so this will become x to the 6th. This will become x to the 4th times x squared, and that'll be c. Now if I'm multiplying exponents, and if they have the same base, then I add. So this actually becomes x to the 6th. So this will be c equals x to the 6th plus x to the 6th, and that's what we got before too. And now here's a question. The question is saying, what is c in terms of x? So I got x's over here, and I got c by itself. So what is c in terms of x? X to the 6th plus x to the 6th.